Or go.
Was personal and political. Accordingly, the president is guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust.
No, you're guilty of appalling abuse of public trust, because what I believe you're doing today is very personal and very political. President Trump said some mean stuff about you, Mitt. He said some mean stuff. And so you're trying to get back at him, aren't you? It's despicable, as far as I'm concerned. All right, cut number 55, Mitt Romney, go.
What he did was not perfect. No, it was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values. Corrupting an election to keep oneself in office is perhaps the most abusive and destructive violation of one's oath of office that I can imagine.
There's zero evidence for that, and you know it. I mean, I almost said, wait a minute, was that Adam Schiff or a Republican? May as well have been Jerry Nadler, right? May as well have been Hakeem Jeffries, right? You know, friends, there's a reason that we call people rhinos sometimes, Republicans in name only. And I give you, I give you example number one there. Good grief. Mitt Romney, cut number 56, go.
In the last several weeks, I've received numerous calls and texts. Many demanded in their words that I stand with the team. I can assure you that thought has been very much on my mind. You see, I support a great deal of what the president has done. I voted with him 80% of the time. But my promise before God to apply impartial justice required that I put my personal feelings and political biases aside.
But that's exactly what you didn't do. This is all about your personal feelings. It's all about you being offended about what Trump said about you. I mean, if you can make outrageous claims that everybody knows aren't true, why can't I make a claim that I think probably is true? Unfreaking believable. Mitt Romney, cut number 57, go.
Were I to ignore the evidence that has been presented and disregard what I believe my oath and the Constitution demands of me for the sake of a partisan end, it would, I fear, expose my character to history's rebuke and the censure of my own conscience.
The irony is that's what you just did. That's what you just did. What you just did is quite partisan and quite personal. Mitt Romney, cut number 58, go.
I'm aware that there are people in my party and in my state who will strenuously disapprove of my decision. And in some quarters, I will be vehemently denounced. I'm sure to hear abuse from the president and his supporters. Does anyone seriously believe that I would consent to these consequences other than from an inescapable conviction that my oath before God demanded it of me?
I certainly do. I certainly do. Donald Trump hurt your feelings. He harshed your mellow. Of course I do. But as thin-skinned as you are to Trump's insults, you think you're a thick-skinned big boy and you could take this. Okay, well, have fun with that. Have fun with that. We have a few more sound bites from Mitt Romney today on the floor of the United States Senate, trying to justify the unjustifiable, and then we'll be off and running to your calls at 877-381-3811. The Mark Levin Show continues. Doc Washburn from Little Rock, Arkansas, filling in for the great one.
Mark Levin.
You've heard me talk about the 4 pillars of education at Hillsdale College. Now, these 4 pillars or purposes, learning, character, faith, and freedom, have defined Hillsdale's mission since 1844. I'd like to focus on the first pillar, learning. Hillsdale understands, as America's founders did, that a proper education is essential to preserving free government. Among other things, young people must be taught about America's great heritage of liberty, They must be taught about how government works and the importance of the Constitution. And they must develop the skills to become useful citizens and the virtues required for self-government. Because so many high schools, colleges, and universities fall short in these areas today, Hillsdale has expanded its mission nationwide. For example, through its free online courses, its free monthly speech digest and Primus, and the classical K through 12 charter schools it's helping to found coast to coast. Discover how you and your children can learn from Hillsdale College, too. Go to levinforhillsdale.com.
All right. Doc Washburn filling in for the great one, the Mark Levin Show. And we are going chapter and verse through Mitt Romney's pathetic attempted explanation for voting to convict the president on one of the articles of impeachment today. It's outrageous. Let's get right into it. Cut number 59, go.
I sought to hear testimony from John Bolton, not only because I believed he could add context to the charges, but also because I hoped that what he might say could raise reasonable doubt and thus remove from me the awful obligation to vote for impeachment.
Outrageous. Again, Bolton, John Bolton. If the House Democrats had wanted John Bolton, they should have had a vote to impeach and then, had a vote to start the impeachment inquiry and then subpoena John Bolton, And if the subpoena is legit, great. And if it's not, that's fine. The reasonable doubt is already there. It's ridiculous. 18 witnesses, thousands of pages of documents, and Willard Romney pretends like he needs another witness. Ridiculous. Cut 60, go.
Like each member of this deliberative body, I love our country. I believe that our Constitution was inspired by Providence. I'm convinced that freedom itself is dependent on the strength and vitality of our national character. As it is with each senator, my vote is an act of conviction.
Wait. You think Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren love this country and their vote is an act of conviction? I mean, Bernie Sanders is a communist, and Liz Warren would rather climb a tree and tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. But everybody is just pure as the driven snow in the U.S. Senate, according to Willard Romney. Unbelievable. Cut 60, go.
We've come to different conclusions, fellow senators, but I trust we have all followed the dictates of our conscience.
That's outrageous. You know there are people in there that don't have a clean conscience. You can't be that naive. Let's do one more cut. Cut number 61, go.
I acknowledge that my verdict will not remove the president from office. The results of this Senate court will in fact be appealed to a higher court, the judgment of the American people. Voters will make the final decision, just as the president's lawyers have implored. My vote will likely be in the minority in the Senate.
Yeah, likely. Unbelievable. Mr. Producer, do we have time for one more cut? No, we don't. Okay, that's fine. Look, we've heard enough from Mitt Romney, and we have a full slate of calls, and I want to hear from the callers at the start of hour number 2, and I appreciate your patience. 877-381-3811. Doc Washburn from Little Rock filling in for the great one on the Mark Levin Show.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
All right, Doc Washburn. Doc Washburn filling in for Mark Levin from KARN, Mark's affiliate in Little Rock, Arkansas. We spent most of hour number 1 going through what Mitt Romney said today to try to justify voting against the President of the United States on one of the 2 unconstitutional articles of impeachment. And it was outrageous. It was despicable. It was beneath contempt. And that's my take. But now it's time to get your take. And I appreciate people waiting through hour number one, wading through the mendacity of Willard Romney. Mendacity is a word I learned in college. There was a professor that if you turned in a paper and there was a lot of BS, he had this stamp that had the word mendacity, which is a polite word, so you don't have to, say the other word. There was a lot of mendacity with Mitt Romney today. All right, 877-381-3811, of course, is the number to call. And let's go with caller number 4, Kurt in Salt Lake City, Utah. Kurt, you're on the Mark Levin Show with Doc Washburn filling in. What do you think? Kurt, are you there?
Oh, there you are. Now I hear you.
Yes, indeed. Loud and clear, sir. Go right ahead.
Right, awesome. Well, hey, first, just let you know I'm trying to get over this nauseous feeling having to listen to Romney once again. But I'm from Utah, and
right.
I'll tell you, you made a comment that there is no law as of right now,
right,
that can allow us to recall, but there has been a bill introduced now.
Yeah, Tim Quinn of Heber City, state rep there. I saw a couple of weeks ago he introduced a bill, but here's the question, Kurt, because I don't know. I've never been to Utah. I'm on the outside looking in. Do you think you have a chance to actually get that bill passed that would allow your state legislature to recall a United States senator?
I believe we do. The sentiment right now back home is one of disgust.
Oh, good.
Trump has much higher ratings than Mitt Romney, and that's a complete turnaround from a couple years ago.
Yeah, because I know Mitt had a kind of a conservative challenger in the Republican primary and was running for Senate, and he just, he smoked the challenger. So I didn't know if things had changed here since then, but obviously, voting to convict the president on a ridiculous article of impeachment today has gotten the attention of some folks in Utah.
Absolutely. It just goes to show Mitt truly does have Schiff for brains.
Adam Schiff for brains. Yes, we have to be very careful with the F's, don't we?
Yes, that's why I said it slowly.
Well, Kurt, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your discretion.
Yes. And one more little tidbit from what I'm hearing is Mitt had a special guest to the State of the Union, which was the governor of Utah. So I think there might be a little bit of sneaky, underhanded play going on here where, Mitt might think he's safe if they try to pass it. Maybe the governor's going to try to veto it. I don't know. Okay.
You know what? I should know. I shouldn't have to ask. Do you have a Democrat governor currently?
Nope. Republican.
No. Okay.
Governor Herbert.
Gary Herbert is a Republican.
Yes.
But that's weird. That's weird that because you would think that Governor Herbert wouldn't be too crazy about Mitt, voting to convict the president. I don't know much about him other than, like you say, he's a Republican. Mike Lee, your other United States senator, clearly disagrees with Mitt, but went out there on Twitter yesterday basically defending Mitt's honor and saying, hey, we disagree on some stuff, but he's a good guy, et cetera, et cetera. And I think he got a lot of pushback, too.
Yeah, it's just speculation on my part. Plus, there's a huge petition going around, to demand that Mitt be removed.
Oh, good.
So,
good.
Yeah, the public is outraged, and they're speaking loud and clear.
But like I say, they got to pass the law through the legislature and got to get Governor Herbert to sign it, and that's something the rest of the country, I think, is going to be watching closely. Kurt, great call, brother. I appreciate it very much from Salt Lake City, Utah there, listening on the XM Sirius. Let's go with another call from Utah. Isaac is listening on Sirius XM there in Vernal, Utah. Isaac, you're on the Mark Levin Show. Doc Washburn filling in. What's up?
Oh, hey, how we doing, Doc? The guy before said it perfectly. He made me laugh. Shift for brains. I mean,
Yeah, we say it slowly with a big old F in there. Yes.
Yeah, we got to make sure the F's in there because.
Well, at one point I'm listening to Romney. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were a Republican. You